Welcome to Warrior DNA, where we are raising up warriors with the DNA of God's character.
I'm Larry Wallace, and this is Staci Wallace, and we have been spending the week out fishing, doing what we love to do. It's our heaven on earth, and we've been having such a great time.
Broken Bow, Oklahoma. It is the place to be if you want to go trout fishing.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
We've had a great week, and we are actually going to be talking to you about 5 things that we learned while fishing that you can apply to every area of your life. We're talking tornadoes, we're talking deer families, we're talking massive trout stories, some amazing things that we're going to share with you. But all of these principles are things you can share with your family and that you can apply this week to your business. It's going to be great.
I have to say it's been a very adventurous week. Never have I been fishing during a tornado. That's been crazy.
Yeah, well, anyhow, this was by far our best fishing trip. Size of fish, quantity of fish, time with family. The kids had an amazing time. My daughter said to me, "Mom, this is by far." Now, we've done this every year, even since their papa was still alive when they were just little bitty babies. We've always done our yearly fishing trip, trout fishing. And so everybody believed this was the best. It was good. Of course, the kids now have a little bit more independence. They can go off where they want to. And
I also have to say we've caught the biggest fish that I think we've ever caught trout fishing.
We lost the biggest fish we've
Yes.
ever lost trout fishing. we had
I
some
think
big
like
ones get away.
Twice, yeah.
He's like, "It was this big."
I told Staci said, I had one on the line, and I said, "Staci, go get the camera." She said, "The net?" I said, "No, the camera, it's huge." And my line broke. Oh.
Yeah, it did, but not before you got to see it, which
Yes.
makes it even worse that
Yeah.
you get to see how big it was. I had a big one that got away as well, and that's some of the things that we're gonna, actually a really, really big one. And I landed probably the biggest one.
Yes, it was amazing.
It was huge. In fact,
You had the record
did
for
you
the
just
trip.
bow to me?
I bowed down. I bowed down to the trout fishing.
Well, the truth is when I saw how big it was, I have this new net, and it's smaller than usual, and so I was out in the middle of the stream.
You need a bigger net. Ooh, we should preach on that.
Yeah. I got a smaller net because when you're out in the stream, you know, you want functionality, but you got to have it all on you. You got to have your stringer on you, your net on you. So I had a smaller net, and I thought, you know what? I see how big that is. So I handed my pole to Peyton so that I could net it. And so I give that a dual catch. Because, you know, when you do that, it's not really your own catch. In deep sea fishing, who's ever in the chair, they get the credit. So I share that with Peyton.
Okay.
I give up my right to be right. Okay, let's talk about the 5 things that we learned this week, and we're going to run through them, and I'm going to show you how we can apply them to every area: your marriage, your faith, family, finance, fitness, freedom, every one of the F5. Isn't that funny?
Yes.
It wasn't an F5, it was maybe like an
F1 or 2.
Yeah.
Tornado.
But it was still a tornado, and nonetheless a lot of damage up there in Oklahoma.
It was funny though because it was raining hard, it was really windy, and we looked outside the window and we see this family of deer just running by. And I mean, it was like,
you guys got to understand, when I'm fishing, I'm so engrossed in fishing. Like, everything for me for these 5 days, it's always about fishing.
Yeah,
just fishing. So I'm at the table and I am just, they're called leaders for those of you who don't fish, but the size of leader, we're going to talk about that. The size of leader, the timing, the execution, the location, all of that is really important. But I was just sitting there putting on hooks, like itsy bitsy, and all of a sudden I hear them, "Oh my goodness, it's a family of deer."
but it was like a herd. It wasn't like just
No, it was like
a
the
couple.
family reunion of deer.
Yeah, and they were literally just running crazy. And Alexi and I were like, "Oh, look at the deer!" And Peyton's sleeping because we were in between, our little fishing times. And Staci's at the table
And I'm like,
fixing
look
up
at
leaders.
that wind, you guys. That is a crazy. Look at the trees; they're like bent in half.
And then the next thing we know, the family of deer run in the exact opposite direction, and we're like, "Oh, look, there they go again." Meanwhile, we have these heavy branches that are falling down on top of our cabin that we were staying in.
And the kids are like, Alexia's like, "What's that noise?" And Larry's like, "Oh, it's branches." Having no idea that we're in a tornado, having no idea. I mean, there's no alert system. Nobody came and told us. Like, we're just
Yeah. Apparently, they were supposed to come and knock on our door and let us know that there was a tornado coming so that we could take cover. Nobody let us know. So we had zero idea. So once the storm was over with, we thought, well, hey, let's just go drive around. So we get in the car, and when we get out, we see debris everywhere. But still, you're thinking it was just heavy winds. But the cars weren't damaged. The property that we were staying
There was tons of
at,
stuff on the cars, like
yeah,
leaves
like
and little branches.
bark and stuff like that. So we get in the car and start driving around, and then we start realizing, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't just some windstorm. Literally, there are huge
Like
trees
35-foot, 40-foot
uprooted,
trees.
just laying over. There was some RVs that got damaged that was in the park, and all sorts of crazy stuff.
So here's what we're going to share with. That's just a story. But it does have to do with life and storms, when sometimes you can be so happy and full of peace. A storm can be going on all around you, and you're in the peace zone. You're in a place where peace is passing all understanding, and you're like, oh, look at the deer running to the left and the right. How do you get into that place? Well, we think there's 5 things that we learned this weekend that will help you live in that peace zone. Number 1 is make sure that you have proper preparation for whatever it is that you're going into. Now, we're going to show you how this can be for kids if you're wanting to ask your mom and dad to use the car, or ladies if you're wanting to go on some kind of vacation, dudes if you're wanting to hang out with the buddies. I'm kind of stereotyping here. But whatever it is, or if it's about your finances, if you're wanting to go in and ask for a job promotion, these are all 5 things that you can apply in every area. Number 1, preparation precedes peak performance. I am a big proponent, because of my daddy, Ronald Jonathan David Wirch, who was an eternal perfectionist. I'm sure he's in heaven right now organizing the angels. He taught us, and me for my whole life, how to prepare for a fishing trip. Now, you got to understand, we've caught some really, really big fish, big sloughs of fish. My dad was always the one who was making sure, like if we were bass fishing, that the depth finder was perfect and that all the gear was set up. Well, that has now fallen on me, and I love it. It's not like it's a burden to me, but preparation, I love the preparation process. I love getting our gear together, our leaders together, all the hooks, all the lines hooked up, making sure now you do the reels and the poles and you get all that going, so it's not like I'm doing it by myself. But when it comes to the leaders, I love that part. And so preparation is really important, because when you get out and you are in the zone of whatever that is for you, you don't want to have to be going, oh shoot, hold on. In fact, I can't remember the football player was, but that was his quote: preparation precedes peak performance. Had a big Super Bowl win, and they said, how did you prepare for this game? And he's like, you don't prepare for the game. I've been preparing for this day my entire life. It's not like you get out there and I remember it was Phil Simms. Do you remember that game?
I do.
Phil Simms, wasn't he like the second string quarterback, or he was first string quarterback? Anyhow, I don't remember how it played out.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
It's been a
I
long
don't
while.
remember how it played out either.
Anyhow, whoever was playing, there was a secondary quarterback that hadn't gotten to play, because I think it was Phil Simms was so amazing and playing and just doing great. Well, the second string quarterback, Jeff, it's all coming back to me. It's going to get to me before the end of the video. If you know who it is, comment. That way we can all figure this out together. Anyhow, he was the second string quarterback. And they ended up, Phil Simms goes down on an injury. So coach looks at him and says, all right, buddy, get in there. Well, get in there. Is he warmed up? Is he ready? Well, he goes in there and plays the game of his life. And they end up winning. Well, afterwards, the media's like, how did you prepare for this game? And how did you, was that shock to you? And he said, preparation precedes peak performance. We literally spend hours upon hours upon hours upon hours throwing that football. It's not like we wait for the coach and go, oh shoot, hold on, let me go get my helmet. Oh, wait a minute, let me go get my pads on. Wait a minute, let me go throw a few balls. You've got to be instant, in season and out of season. My daddy used to tell me all the time, baby, everywhere you go. Now, this is back in the day when we carried CDs and cassettes, but they had my tracks on it. Always be ready to sing. You never know when somebody's going to be asking you to sing or to give your message. Always have a speech prepared. Be instant, in season and out of season. And that's the preparation process.
Yeah, it's so important. I mean, you never know whenever an opportunity is going to arise, and it'll be your time to shine, so be prepared.
When you need a net. not a camera.
Yeah.
No, get the camera.
Yes. Well, I didn't even get it close enough for you to have a net either, but I knew it was huge and I want it documented.
You did so good every day getting us ready. My chair was set up. The coffee, Nana had made the coffee for us. You had all the poles ready. You're such a good husband. You're like the best husband. I love that we are bonded together on these adventures.
Yes.
Do you love it as much as me?
Oh, I love it. I love it because you love it. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, having a wife that loves to go fishing, that is heaven on earth.
I prepared for you
Yeah.
my whole life. Preparation. Number 2 is timing. Timing is really important because if you don't, you can go to the right fishing hole at the wrong time of the day and catch nada.
It happens too. There's times where we would go to a fishing hole just because of the experience, not necessarily because we knew we were going to catch fish. But if you stay there long enough, you know that the fish are going to start biting, and it's usually at certain times of the day.
We would get up usually at 5:45. We'd get up about 5:30, be leaving at 5:45 to be there before sun actually rises, and that is like primo excelente goodo fishing.
Yeah, like right now, the time is the sun is rising and it's beautiful. The whole earth is waking up, and it's such a good experience. And so yeah, we're spending time with you instead of fishing.
So we're recording this because we're obviously going to play this on our Warrior DNA. But the beautiful part about timing is it goes the same thing for investments, same thing for asking for a job promotion, your family. Just timing is essential. You can be asking for the right job promotion at the wrong time. I can come in and, you know, ladies, let's not be talking about your next trip if your husband's sitting there paying bills. Just calculate timing. Remember, we're talking about how to live in the peace zone, how to be able to have peace in the midst of a storm. And timing is very, very important for that. You know, in the afternoons, it's not great fishing. In the afternoons, that's when you go canoeing. That's when you spend time with family. So you've got to know, even in your work day, when's your most efficient time for executing? When's your most efficient time for getting work done? I always, when we were in corporate America, my morning times, I made sure I did the stuff I didn't like to do first because I was alert, I was ready, I was at the beginning of my day. Stuff hadn't happened. I get those things done immediately so that then I can problem solve the rest of the day.
Yeah, I think there's a book out there that says eat the frog first. So do whatever it is that you hate doing the most at the beginning of
Some
your day.
people like frog legs.
Well, I know. I like frog legs. Anyways, let's not get sidetracked
Number 3
again.
is location. Location, 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 location. This isn't just important for where you park your business, where you park your URL, but location, location, location is so important because you can seriously go at the right time of day and fish where there's no fish. Be in the wrong location. You can have the right conversation with your spouse or the right conversation with your boss in the wrong location, and all of a sudden you have chaos. Right. So make sure that you're really aware. This is a part of self-awareness and leadership awareness. It's one thing to know, I know what I need, I know what I want, but if you don't survey the surroundings and go, where's everybody at? What's the EQ, the emotional quotient of everybody in the room? Location, location, location. Make sure what you're doing at the right location.
That's good.
And then, I love this one. This one is E, which is, so for those of you, I'm doing an acronym so I would remember all this. PT leg.
There you go, PT
so
leg.
We've done preparation, timing, location, execution is a really important one. You can practice all day, you can prepare, you can have the right timing. If you don't know how to fish, if you don't know how to get, in fact, if you guys want to know we have a huge, wonderful, we've done really well with it, with our training on sales training as it relates to fishing. We'll put the link in here so that they can actually access that. But if you're in the area of sales and marketing, watch our sales training as it relates to fishing, having the right location, target marketing, timing, the right lures, the right, know what kind of pond you're fishing in, all of that's really
good. As you
good.
get to know us, you'll realize that we do a lot of fishing. Fishing is our thing.
Adventure, a life of adventure, living life by design.
Yes.
Okay, so E is execution. When you go fishing, make sure, I was watching some Bubbas that just happened to come down to Broken Bow. They're sitting there, and honestly, I don't know what they're fishing with. They are not fishing with the right stuff. They didn't catch a thing. They got like a 75-pound weight.
You can be in the right location, but have the wrong bait on your line.
Wrong gear.
And you're not going to catch a thing.
And not even knowing how to execute, because they hadn't studied the water enough before you throw those kind of weights to know that it is full of rocks and full of marsh. So we were down at the dam one day, and I'm watching them I'm like, they are not going to catch nothing. And really, so execution is really important, and how you make your requests known, how you talk to people, how you communicate with people. This is where the fruit of the Spirit is really big. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness. Apply those like honey to your communication style when you're speaking to people or when you're making requests. We're talking about living in the peace zone. So a lot of times people just go in like a bull in a china's closet, and they just mess things up, and then they wonder why they don't have a life of peace.
Yeah, creating lots of carnage, lots of chaos.
Yeah, which leads us to G, which is generosity. And I want to brag on you because you were so much, you were like a tour guide for people that would come, fishing guide. He would fish, and you got to know, we love fishing. So when you're fishing, it's not like you just want to lay your pole down and go teach someone how to, hook up their line. But Larry, and he just helped everybody. There was a little boy, this was his first fishing trip, and he actually strung a sunfish about this big, which you're not supposed to do. We just didn't have the heart because he was so precious. He was just a young boy, and he wanted to keep it. They're supposed to be a certain size before you keep them. Anyhow, when Larry showed them how to fillet the fish.
Well, I felt for him, when you go fishing like what we were fishing, trout fishing, there's places where there's a few people around you. And so you get to kind of see like what are people fishing with, and what kind of tackle are they using, and all that kind of stuff. And so I noticed that this mother and her son, she was there trying to give him an experience. She wasn't fishing herself, and I could tell that they didn't have a whole lot of knowledge when it came to fishing. And so we ended up striking up a conversation, and I noticed that they were using the wrong type of tackle, lures, bait, and all that kind of stuff. And so
they weren't going to catch nothing.
They were not going to catch a thing. They were literally catching for bass in a place where bass don't exist. So I felt bad for them. And so anyways, we just spent some time and just getting to know them and gearing them up with the right tackle and the right bait in order to catch the trout that was in that location. And sure enough, that was like her whole desire. I mean, she drove all the way up from Dallas, 2.5 hours just to give him that experience, and he wasn't catching anything.
And I love it. Single mom, young boy, dad's not around to show, and Larry just makes me really tear up. Be the dad you wish you had. And that's what I'm just saying to men, ladies, be the mom you want your kids to remember.
Yeah.
Be the mom that goes the extra mile. Be the friend you wish you had.
Yeah.
And sometimes just lay down your agenda, lay down your pride, lay down what you think you've got to get done, and just survey around you and say, is there anyone here that could use the extension of God, could just use an extension of generosity, could use the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace. And it was so beautiful because by that time also, there were other people that you were helping people all the time. You were always showing them what bait to use, why it's important to use power bait, why it's important to have the right size leader.
I believe it's giving back. There's been times in our early trout fishing careers where we've had people who have helped us along the way. And it just makes for such a great experience, because if you can go out and learn something new, it just makes for a great experience for yourself, and also makes a great experience for the other person. But then, now that I know what we know and we've experienced what we've experienced, it's just it's so good just to be able to give back so that you can help other people who are trying to figure it out, shortcut the process, and let them have a good experience. We had caught so many fish
that we were just giving our fish away because people were like,
Yeah.
how are you catching all those fish? And so this particular mom and son, we were like, do you guys want these? They took every fish we could give them, and they were putting them in their Ziploc bags, and then so they're getting ready to leave, and she comes up to me and goes, I'm so sorry, I don't want to stop you for fishing again. And she said, but could you just explain to me, like, how do I cook these? Like, how do I cut them? And I'm like, oh, we better show them how to fillet. So Larry stopped and showed the little boy.
So he had a little fillet knife, and so I taught him how to use his fillet knife, and we filleted a fish together, and it was good.
I really believe that generosity, extravagant generosity, is what gives you peace when you need it in the midst, covering in the midst of a storm. It gives you good fishing when you need it. It allows nature and God to work with you because you're working with the creativity of what God wants to have happen on earth. So we just really, actually, I think we should start a guide service. So if y'all want us to go to fishing with you in Broken Bow or...
Call it Fishing with G-Mama.
G-Mama right here. I'm godmama to a bunch of kiddos and a bunch of adults, and so I want to have a TV show one day, Fishing with G-Mama. Our life adventures, life by design with G-Mama.
There you go.
We love it. So just don't forget, PT leg, okay? First off is preparation, timing, location, execution, and then of course extravagant generosity.
Yes.
And when you do that, I really believe you're going to find more peace. It's just not always about us, being able to go out and be about other people. We love what we do. We love being able to stop like this for you, bring you along on our adventures, and let you know what's happening in the world of the Wallace tribe.
Have a great week, everybody. We love it every time that you guys join us, and be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. If you click that bell, anytime that we post a new video, you'll get a notification that lets you know that we've posted a new video. And then of course, always, please comment down below. We love to hear from you guys. Let us know that you stopped by. Let us know what you liked about the video, or just say hi.
We're just getting the whole subscription thing going, and YouTube is really going to be able to provide back to us, because as we're able to monetize the videos, we want you to know, we want to be transparent. This is a way that helps our ministry and helps us to be able just to do what God's called us to do, help us with them women. So we really do appreciate comments, subscribes, notifications, and then of course share Sugar Bear. We love you guys.
Have a great week, everybody.
Oh, look, see the cardinal?
Oh, beautiful.
Some people say that that's somebody that's in heaven visiting us. I'd like to think that's Papa.
Yes.
All right.
Well done.
Have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.